The new Fed chair has just been announced, and early clues are already surfacing about what his next move could mean for the entire market. And the prediction we made in the last episode is starting to play out right in front of our eyes. We'll break down what is coming next in gold versus Bitcoin. And Binance just made a major announcement, but the rumors behind the scenes are quite troubling. We'll dive into what those are and if they are actually true or just more FUD. Plus, one scary data point is flashing right now. And if history is any guide, this could be a crystal ball on where the market is going next. All of this and more on Around the Block, the crypto news show that keeps you up to date so you can have an edge in the market. And of course, this is not financial advice, it's for education purposes only. All right, let's dive in. Trump announces the new Fed chair, and it is going to be Kevin Warsh. Now, of course, this is sending the entire internet into a tailspin trying to figure out what his stance is going to be in terms of interest rates, crypto, and the entire market in general. People are digging up interviews from years past to try to get an idea of what he is going to be like as the next Fed chair. He seems pretty outspoken, saying that what is happening right now is the fault of the Fed, not President Trump. Now, I'd have to believe if he got the nomination, it's because he is going to follow the plan that Trump has laid out, which is cutting interest rates and cutting them aggressively. But there's a lot of conflicting reports because on one hand, we do expect him to follow Trump's lead, but on the other hand, he has made multiple statements in the past about how he wants to keep the balance sheet very tight. But if you're a crypto or Bitcoin investor, the question on your mind is, what does he think about crypto? Well, we found a clip of him speaking about Bitcoin, and I want to share that with you now. Let's listen into what Kevin has to say.
You made reference to Bitcoin, and I thought I heard a little bit of condescension that people are buying Bitcoin and these things.
But doesn't it, Charlie Munger, this is 2 or 3 years before he died, Charlie Munger attacked Bitcoin. He called it evil, in part because it would begin to undermine the Fed's ability to manage the economy.
Or it could provide market discipline, or it could tell the world that things need to be fixed.
Bitcoin does not make you nervous.
Bitcoin does not make me nervous. I can hearken back to a dinner I had here in 2011 with someone who is another guest on your show. I won't say his name. Okay, I just did Mark Andreessen, who showed me the white paper. That was the original white paper. I wish I had understood as clearly as he did how transformative Bitcoin and this new technology would be.
I love how Kevin says Bitcoin can be a policeman for economic policy. It's much harder to print infinite money and inflate away the purchasing power of your citizens if they have an alternative. Now, another clip surfaced of Kevin saying, if you're under 40, Bitcoin is your new gold. Right now, the money has been flowing into gold and silver and precious metals. However, the people with the money are much older than 40 typically, right? The old guard still has control, but that will change over time, which I think makes a case for Bitcoin being more and more bullish on the long term. Now, in our last video, we talked about historically how the money has flowed into gold first, then a small pause, and then it rotates into Bitcoin. Gold and silver have been on these parabolic runs, but yesterday they both fell massively. To put into perspective how big this actually is, gold's market cap fell nearly $4 trillion, which is more than double the entire market cap of Bitcoin. Silver's crash was even more epic, losing 22% in 18 hours, over 1.3 trillion. I've been very public saying I am not touching gold or silver. If anything, I would short them because parabolas never last forever. You cannot have a move like that. I don't care if it's Bitcoin, gold, or anything else on earth. It does not work that way. The criticisms I'm hearing is that the money didn't flow directly into Bitcoin. Bitcoin fell too, but if you look back historically, there is a lag between gold coming down off of a big run and the money flowing into risk-on assets. I still believe it's just a matter of time until we flip the switch. And it's possible it's already started. The Central Bank of Kazakhstan announces today they're going to take $350 million of their gold reserves and convert it into Bitcoin. This is exactly what we're talking about. If we can see more and more of these announcements, we will know that we are flipping the switch and moving towards risk on and Bitcoin's time to shine. And if you're enjoying this content and you see yourself as a financial innovator, you want to be ahead of the curve, then I recommend checking out the Blockchain Boardroom Alpha Hub. We provide breaking news, advanced training, and even trade alerts so you can stay ahead of the rest of the market. Just scroll down to the description of this video and there's a link to sign up right now. And for a limited time, it's literally 90% off. All right, let's get back to the video. Now, the entire internet is filled with FUD about Binance. People are hating on CZ, the founder of Binance, even though he doesn't work there anymore. They are saying he is the crypto cartel, he is responsible, and Binance is responsible for all these crashes and these massive liquidation events. Unfortunately, we'll probably never know for sure how involved Binance was in all of these mass liquidations. We can look at the on-chain data, but they only tell part of the story. Now, Binance has the SAFU fund of $1 billion in stablecoins. They said over the next 30 days, they're going to deploy that into Bitcoin. They are putting their money where their mouth is and acquiring Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. I would love to see other people come out and say this, and we actually had Justin Sun saying the same thing from Tron. You would think an announcement like that would get everyone excited, but the amount of hate that Binance and CZ is getting is unprecedented. People are looking for a villain. And if you look at some on-chain data, there is reason to suggest that Binance is very involved in these crashes. October 10th was the event that really changed the market. Yes, we recovered from that point, but eventually we started to bleed back down. That was the biggest liquidation event, flash crashes of 80%, and a lot of it was caused by an exploit on Binance and other exchanges. People joke that once an asset is listed on Binance, the price tanks and bleeds over time. And of course, as soon as gold and silver were listed on Binance, the price cratered, furthering the evidence of this rumor. Now, is this all just coincidental timing? Or is Binance involved? I'm not sure one way or another, but I definitely want to keep my eye on CZ and Binance moving forward. Now we need to look at a data point that could shed light on where we go next. The first thing I want to show you is the Fear-Greed Index. This shows how much fear or greed is in the market. Typically, markets top in extreme greed and they bottom in extreme fear. Now, how long we stay in these ranges can vary widely, but I like seeing us in extreme fear at around $83,000 because that usually means that could be a local bottom. Now, of course, we can bleed lower. We're still at 16, and this can stay in this range for a while we slowly bleed lower. We really want to reclaim that $84,000 range and then eventually 86 and 90. That would show us we're on the road to recovery, but for now, we're in a tough spot. One of the metrics people use to measure if it's a good time to buy or sell is the Z-score. And you can see where we are on this chart right now. We are at the lowest Z-score ever. Worse than the bear market bottom in 2015, 2018, worse than the COVID crash. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to look at where the short-term price is going is to look at the liquidation heat map. See, people use leverage in crypto. So we can see on-chain when they're going to be liquidated. That means they're going to lose all of their principal and the exchanges get to keep their money. Therefore, market makers have a vested interest in moving the price to specific levels so they can take your money. Billions of dollars worth of longs have been liquidated in the past week. But now, if we look at this heat map, all of the liquidation will happen when the price moves up, not down. Typically, an imbalance like this will resolve because market makers don't want to keep paying out these shorts. They want to go after the longs as well. There is literally billions of dollars sitting to the upside. If they can move the price up, all of this money will be theirs. So does that mean we're going to move up right away? I don't think so. I hope so, but I don't know if I believe that. Reason being, there is so much economic uncertainty. We've got a new Fed chair coming in. There's a lot of rumors we're about to attack Iran, which would be massively devastating from a geopolitical perspective. We've got the tariff Supreme Court ruling still hanging in the balance, and the crypto structure bill hasn't passed quite yet. You put all this together, and it's very difficult to think we are going to move up in the short term. Now, if we get some clarity around some of those issues, I could see a quick recovery. But to me, it's just too early to tell. I am a spot buyer here. I will always accumulate Bitcoin, and it's down significantly from the all-time high not long ago. So I definitely would buy here personally, but I could absolutely understand if someone wants to wait for a better entry, especially if they're a trader. On a long time horizon, I think this is a great spot to purchase, but no, it could go deeper, so I wouldn't deploy my whole stack. That's my personal opinion, not financial advice. So I'm curious, what do you think? Where do you think the price is going next? And do you have any data to support it? Drop it in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this content and you want to get up-to-date trade alerts, as well as advanced training and the ability to follow along with what I do, don't forget to check out the Blockchain Boardroom Alpha Hub. It's in the description of this video, and right now it's 90% off. And even if you don't sign up, don't forget to like and subscribe because I'll be dropping more quality information like this on a regular basis.